Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the that's it feeling, that really empty feeling that some people get after achievements. That's what I like to call it, the that's it feeling. And basically I'm going to explain what the roots of that are and how it sort of demonstrates a misunderstanding of happiness. And throughout the video I'm also going to kind of explain what happiness is and how you should properly conceptualize happiness. So the that's it feeling is this feeling that a lot of people describe where after they have some major achievement, where they achieve some major goal, they have this feeling of, oh, that's it? Is this all that happiness is? And they feel really empty. They feel like life has no meaning. They feel like happiness is this impossible thing, or that ultimate happiness is something that can never be achieved. The fact that they experience this emotion shows that, or demonstrates that there is some underlying premise of misunderstanding what happiness is. They have some expectation for what happiness is that isn't fulfilled in this, and it's the wrong expectation for what happiness is. So what is their expectation of happiness? These people expect happiness to be this sort of thing that you achieve, this ultimate high, this high moment of like ultimate contentment. That's kind of the way that they conceptualize it. They conceptualize it as a high state, as a extreme emotional feeling, an intense emotion, an intense high, pretty much. That's the way that people conceptualize happiness. And I guess it does make sense, because a lot of people, the best moments of their life are when they are high, when they are avoiding reality by getting drunk or getting high or anything like that. But whatever, that's kind of a side point. But the primary reason for this emotion is because that's what people expect happiness to be. They expect it to be this super intense feeling, and that's not what happiness is. That's a mischaracterization of happiness, and it's sort of, and there's an extent to which it's a somewhat platonic version of happiness too, because they view it as this like state of perfection, a state of like emotional perfection, kind of the most comfortable emotional state, or most happy emotional state possible. That's kind of what they expect happiness to be, and it leads to a lot of religious thinking too, is because it makes you think that, oh, if I want to be happy, I need to wait for the platonic ideal of happiness, which religious people claim you can only get in heaven. Now, once again, what I've been saying is this is the wrong conception of happiness. This is going to lead you to disappointment, which is essentially what the that's it feeling is. It's that feeling of disappointment, of emptiness after achieving a goal and expecting to achieve this platonic ideal of happiness. Now, what is actual happiness? Happiness is more of a general underlying state. You can feel sad at times, but still be happy. That's an important distinction to make, because happiness is sort of an underlying emotion that, regardless of what your surface level emotions are at the time, you still feel this underlying sense of happiness, this underlying sense of uncontradictory joy, because you feel comfortable in reality, or you feel like your goals are attainable, or you've achieved. I mean, achievement is a big part of this too. You can achieve something and feel like you're worth it in this world, or you feel pride in yourself because of that. All these virtues are very, very connected together, because like there's just this sense of self-efficacy, this sense of peace with the world, the sense of feeling like you belong in the world, if that's a good statement. I don't know if that's the right word for what I'm looking for, but happiness is more of this underlying state rather than this surface level high. That's the reason why a lot of people misconceptualize happiness and have a lot of and end up having this sort of that's it emotion after they achieve something big, because they expect this high, they expect this sort of this surface level happiness emotion. That's the ultimate platonic ideal of what emotion should be, or whatever. It's a misconceptualization of happiness. The world is not platonic. There's not this perfect ideal out there. What happiness is what's possible in your life, and it's more of a long-term sort of thing rather than just this short-term burst of pleasure. It's a long-term underlying state, so that like even when you're sad, you feel okay about the world. You feel like life is worth living still. You feel like life is good still, even in these sad moments. And that's extremely important, because you have to be able to experience extreme sadness to feel the extreme moments of pleasure as well. But that's kind of disconnected. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, no matter what, you still have this underlying sense of joy, of happiness, and a lot of the people who have the that's it emotion have this underlying sense of sadness, and they expect that once they achieve one specific goal, their happiness is, or their sadness is going to go away. Their underlying sadness will just completely alleviate, and they'll experience this extreme high of their emotional state. And sometimes they do. Sometimes they do experience that extreme high, but there's still that underlying sadness. So they'll feel, instead of the feeling of like, oh, I'm sad right now, but life is still good and I'm overall still happy. They feel, oh, I'm happy now, but overall life is still terrible. Life is still empty. And that's basically the root of the that's it emotion. It's a sense of underlying sadness, and a misconceptualization of what happiness is, and what happiness requires as well. Because happiness is a long-term journey. Happiness is a long-term process of introspection and improving yourself and achieving your goals. It's a long-term process. It's not something that you're just going to achieve in a day. You have to really integrate the right philosophy, the right ideas, the right subconscious premises to create that ultimate state of happiness that is underlying. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.